Alright, so I've loaded into Crusher McCabe. He has the worst skills out of my 3 tunes on this account. He's got Planetology 4, Advanced Planetology 4, and all the other ones at 5. So we're going to take a look at changing Planet 1 on all of his planets to kind of debunk some of these myths. So we're going to start off doing that, and I'll pause the video here and then fast forward to what I want to show you. Alright, I got the planet set up here for what I want to show you. The skills for Advanced Planetology and Planetology affect your scan resolution, and by sliding this bar all the way together, we get the closest bar possible. We're looking at one planet in my wormhole, and what we can do is adjust it so we can just barely see the white, so we know that we're seeing the maximum amount. I guess that would even be a hotter spot, right? So moving up, and what we're going to do is, since that's the hottest spot on the entire planet by the looks of it, this one here, we're going to assume that that's the best place, the best scan place, and we're going to build an extractor control unit right around that. And then we're going to build a lava launch pad right here. And then for our experiment, what we're going to do on each of the planets is we're going to grab only 3 extractor heads, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on the lowest time slot possible and put it at the highest concentration possible, so that we're eliminating a lot of the variables, right? So this is going to be in the highest concentration at the highest level. So what we're going to be able to do quickly in this video is learn the difference in the amount that we're extracting. So in 1 hour, you know, this entire cycle, what these numbers mean, right? So we'll be able to know exactly what all these numbers mean at the end of the video. So hold tight, and I'm going to set up the other accounts the same way and give you a quick flash of each. So start. And submit. So in 1 hour we will know what we extracted and what the extraction numbers were. Alright, I'm back here with Ava, who has in her skill book planet management, and we're looking at planetology at 5, advanced planetology partially trained, with all the other skills. So this should be 1 step better, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the other planet. We're going to go to planet 1, we're going to look at the magma, and we're going to find the hottest spot according to Ava. Alright, so Ava thinks that the hottest spot is right here, and what we're going to do is I will delete this one and set it up the same way. So I'm going to go build extractor, launch pad, with 3 extractors set up for 1 hour. And get them as close as we can. So 38,826. I'm just writing this down, so that's why it's taking a second here. we'll create the route, and then we'll make sure that we get out exactly what we put in. Alright, gonna move on to Buna real quick. Alright, it should be recording. Okay, so this is the last tune that we're looking at. So planet management skills are Planetology V, Advanced Planetology V. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at this one. We're going to scan the planet for magma, trying to find the hottest spot we can, and also kind of paying attention to where this bar is at, right? We're looking at the same planet within, you guys can't see, but it's within 3 minutes. We've scanned the same planet with 3 different characters, and it looks like the hottest spot is way up here with the Advanced Planetology. So you can kind of compare that using the video for your own learning, and it looks like the hottest spot is going to be that spot right there, and we'll do the same build with an extractor. Oh, I gotta delete some stuff. One, two, three extractor heads for 1 hour on the hottest spot, according to Buna. Oh, interesting. It's actually less, right? And as you get out here, you get 42. With that's interesting. If you just feel around, you actually end up with like more. Maybe it's because of the cycle time is so small. Well, we're learning stuff already. Alright, it's interesting that spreading them out like that is better. I'm just trying to get that highest number in there. Well, let's let it run for an hour, and then I will be back at 8:30, and we will see what it actually puts into each of our basis. So Buna should have been 41,335. Okay, we'll make sure that that much stuff ends up in that bucket. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing my scan up here, but I will be back in an hour and we'll see what happens. Alright, real quick, trying to keep this video as short as possible. The thing I want to show you here is a single cycle. So a single cycle, 15 minutes. We should see in this single cycle 6,355 units come out if the numbers aren't reduced because of skills. So whenever that comes into my container, I want to double check and make sure that all the numbers are actually accurate, and you can see exactly what each of them are doing. So we'll open up this. And as that cycle hits, 6,355. So at least at the cycle time, each one of the cycles is accurately portrayed. This is my worst skilled character that I switched to, and yeah, the computer accurately predicts how much you get per cycle. There's no D rate because of skill. So we will wait the full hour, but if this is true here, you'd think that this would be true, this would be true, this would be true, and that's all accurate. So I don't know how much it makes sense for us to wait the whole time, but we'll go ahead and do it. And then the next experiment that I kind of want to look into is doing it at a longer cycle time and seeing if the player skills and the player scanning ability actually really shows greater in a longer cycle time. I usually run 2-day 1 hour cycle times, so be back shortly. Just real quick, we're through the second cycle, and if you add up this one, you get what's in here. So again, we're confirming and debunking that myth that that's what planetology and advanced planetology actually do. They don't. So clearly the scans are different, and we can take a look at that later in the video. But as of right now, we just want to finish up this one between the 3 accounts, making sure they all extract the same amount, and then we can look at longer cycle times, as well as maybe the differences in what the scans look like of the same planet at as close to the same time as I can, since all my tunes are on the same account. So stay tuned and I'll be back. Alright, looks like it just finished up here, and 24,978 was our goal. $24,978. So let's go ahead and move on to the next I was thinking, let's try this. Let's add in a few more. Let's increase our... I usually run 2 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes, because it's the longest cycle you can get with 30-minute cycle times. Obviously, if you go to 2 days, 2 hours, the cycle time goes way up. And yeah, so that's what I do. So if we kind of do the same thing again with, and it looks like, yeah, if you kind of hunt around or get further away, you can get more just kind of like by feeling around with it. If you're watching this number right here, I kind of like, what I usually do is I just set them up like this, just looking at the colors, and it looks like that's not as good as if I do it like that. Weird. So I guess if you're willing to kind of play around with it, obviously, like if you're going from like an area where it's not even highlighted to an area where it's highlighted, you kind of get definitely get a benefit there. But if you feel around, you're talking, you can go from, that's pretty good right there, right? So say we call that a 2-day cycle time with 5 heads. So if I write that down, look at that, 1 3 3 8 9 6 2 on Crusher, and looking at his scan, right, the white tip is right next to that first bar, maybe like a hair under, and then this is obviously scrunched as much as I can. So that's what the planet looks like. Maybe if I move the whole bar just a hair more, I'll line it perfectly up with that one. And that's kind of what the planet looks like. So we're on a little bit of white, yellow, and whatnot. So that kind of gives us a 5-head run. Let's switch accounts. Okay, we've switched over to Ava, looking at Planet 1. Where's our little experiment? didn't hit submit before I closed. That would kind of ruin the whole thing. Wow. Yeah, I did, because I still have 2 extract. Oh wait, no, there it is. Okay, so my heads are here. That was kind of embarrassing. Alright. 3 heads. All close. We were expecting 36, 826, 35. Weird. 35, 30. That is certainly lower than what we were expecting whenever we set it up. I set it up at 38. Huh. I'm just gonna fix this real quick. Alright, back to recording again. We're gonna step this up to 5 heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna step this up to 2 days. 1 hour, 30 minutes. If we take 5 extractor heads, all on the white, my scan is not set up like the one I had for Ava or for Buna. So if we set it up the same way that the other one was at, the map looks I don't think advanced, you know, the planetology is noticeable if I felt around a little bit. I mean, that's 133. Obviously, with over 1 million, it's gonna fill up my thing, so I'm not gonna let these things run, but we're gonna switch over to Buna real quick. Switch over to Buna. We're gonna view this one. Oh, that's not the guy we were looking at. Alright, the 3-headed one. We kind of felt around on this one to get the most out of it. And 41,335. That's exactly what we expected to get. So I don't think there's any difference there. If we turn this up to 5 heads and we go with 2 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes, the scan looks to be about the same. If I do the same sort of setup with the heads, where I'm putting all of them as close as I can on the highest concentration, we're getting out the exact same amount. About 1.3 million on a 2-day cycle on the highest concentration of stuff. I mean, that's weird. These skills are absolutely worthless. The scan changes nothing. I might submit this on YouTube and see if anybody else has other comments about the numbers and maybe other experiments they'd like to see. So, as far as what I'm concerned, my conclusion here is that the units extracted is an accurate measurement. It's not just an estimate, and the amount that you can get if you're looking at the highest concentration hotspots, definitely the scans look different. We can talk about that too. If you look at this scan, right, with that arrow being right there, I'm seeing a lot more hotspots. So like right here, let's do this while we have time. So let's just delete this thing and build another extractor. And so looking at our scan res is about the same. So if I were to actually put it in the highest concentration spot where, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff, a lot of hot spots that I wasn't seeing on the other accounts. So if I were to take this and go and "2 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes." We'll kind of do like one head. Sometimes I think that the heads, when you put them all close together, end up getting less over their whole cycle life because they're trying to steal from each other. Yeah, you can get it up to like 1.3, 1.2, 7, 6, 3. So weird. 1.3. With 5 heads on a 2-day cycle. So if we stretched out our resolution a hair, you can see how if you put your extractor just on this hot spot, how you wouldn't have much else to go after. But on this, you can kind of see that 1.37. I don't know if you can get them up over if you did like 1.35. If you really just 1.32, 34. I don't know if it's worth training these extra skills. What do you guys think? Maybe having better scans so you can see areas where the concentration is high, but now that I kind of did that on this account, I'm going to switch right back over to Crusher and kind of get an idea of what this looks like, the scan being set right here and the resolution. And I'll switch one more time on this video before I close it. Alright, so we just went from my best trained tune for PI to my lowest skilled tune for PI. And we're just going to look at the scan resolution a little bit. So if we flip back to the magma, and that looks to be like set right where it would be otherwise. And if we stretch it back like I did the last one, the planet looks completely different as far as the scan or where the materials are. So it's hard to like know what you're looking at least from maybe you could use the background of the planet to figure out, okay, so I'm looking at the same area. Maybe we'll do that real quick too. So if we're looking at this light background area, the planet looks pretty stark. And if we, I'm really trying to make sure I'm being fair here with the scan bar, but you almost can't even see anything on this side. And if you flip 180 degrees around, so I don't know, like, it's like the there's not even a star in the solar system that we can kind of reference. Obviously that's the North Pole looking down at the red. And that's looking straight up. So looking down, looking up, and then around the side with the scan resolution really would need to be set here. And we're seeing very little to any activity with that bar. If I set the bar for it to be 2 units wide, we're seeing lots of yellow in one spot where it's red and white. So
skill training
look at
completed.
that. You guys got to see me finish Amar battleships. All right, let's flip back one more time. All right, coming back in here on Buna. My keyboard's doing something. So with this scan being 2 units apart, we can do the same thing, right? So we're looking at the top, looking at the bottom, and then around the sides with, well, the majority of the stuff being concentrated in the yellow. There are more, very slightly more of the white. Maybe 5 or 10% more. So, is it worth it? I can't tell. You guys tell me. Thanks for watching.